This is a Relic of the Sovereign Past on normal and hard. It can be a little bit difficult to find this quest, or a little bit difficult to find the quest giver for this quest. It's in House Deneath rather than House Kandarak, even though it's a House Kandarak quest. So, entering the gate, you just follow the path to the right. And you want to go into this Temple of the Sovereign Host. And the quest giver is actually in here. Lots of talking in this with this quest giver. And I'm going to pause it while I go over to House Kandarak, and I'm going to go start at the guild ship entrance uh, outside of House Kandarak. All right, so from the House Kandarak bank, you could just kind of climb up it, and then we're going to go right out to the back here to this Black Anvil Forest. I think we were in one of the quests there last level. And I think the quickest way is to go right. To the quest. So I'm going to go in on normal. And this quest has a unique item that's only available here called adamantine ore. It could drop very rarely from Durgar and other quests, but this is the only place to really get significant quantities of it. And my mystery of the day is I've been at 396 hit points since I leveled up and put my plus 20 vitality boots on, and all of a sudden I'm at 392, so I can't figure out what happened to those missing 4 hit points. So hopefully I'll figure that out.
This small pool of lava seems to cause the walls in here to sweat profusely.
And the adamantine ore is optional, but I'm going to go ahead and do it while I'm here. So the lumps of coal, you don't need to worry about. Those are pretty worthless.
Elementals meander between the pillars of earth and the pools of lava in this cavern. The heat here is almost unbearable.
So we'll start this first path here.
The musty odor of burning incense fills this passage.
Oh, I figured out what happened to my 4 missing hit points from this item. There we go. I had my search item, swap item on.
As you continue down, muffled sounds of shouting can be heard from somewhere before you. The chanting appears to come from the other side of the large iron-bound door at the base of this slope. The rooms on the other side probably contain the opening mechanisms. The room beyond appears to be a temple hewn from the earth itself, with a large, rune-covered altar at its center. As the last of the worshippers fall, the Durgar High Priest begins an incantation of summoning.
And then pull this lever.
To serve as a checkpoint of sorts. Dwarven guards man both sides of this gateway. Rumbling voices of dwarves can be heard behind the doors here. This must be the barracks. What appear to be the officers' quarters flank the locked steel door at the end of this hall. The clan warden awaits you in this room. Cages behind him hold what appear to be large metallic dogs.
Sure enough, had that. I remember that issue for some reason when the shrine is here. You can't see this key chest. So normally you could just hit Q and find it, but in that one room, for whatever reason, you just can't do that. So first I'm just going to complete the quest, then I'm going to go do the optional in case people don't want to see the optional. Though I'm running hard after this, so it's going to be a little bit of a longer video. This is a little bit of a longer quest. And then the optional adds to that. On hard, I'll just do the quest itself. So the two levers we pulled in the first two paths open this area, and this is a
Statues
heavily
of
trapped
dwarves line the wall.
passageway to the end boss. Where did that thing come from? Alright, so I have to kind of proceed slowly. There you can see I could barely see the trap before I hit it. And I probably want to go closer to the sides. And it's usually these sort of like mouths, things with mouths, so that'll help find them a little quicker. They're not going to be super deadly for our build. Alright, let me just try to find this first. And sure enough, there's a mouth. Another one. You can see one up there. And let's see, is there one here? Different kind of trap, it looks like. Oh, there's that one. And it's a very long passageway and just tons of traps. I mean, we're not going to run out of trap parts. 708 left, but it's a lot of traps. Very low search requirement because I haven't been switching to my search item and I'm still finding every single one of them. And as you might expect, as the difficulty goes up, there's more enemies, so that makes it harder because you're dealing with fighting and trapping at the same time. Interesting, I didn't spot it. And it says there's no trap. So that's the first one we've seen that didn't have a trap.
A final pair of blackguards stood at attention before the center gates. The king's chambers lie on the other side of them. A sword hangs suspended beneath a magical dome at the center of this room. but the hard gaze of the man standing behind it draws your attention.
So I did the optional where I bluffed him, and I didn't use any skill boosts or anything. So it means probably on Reaper we might have a chance to be able to do that bluff optional and not have to fight that boss. So the quest is complete. I'm just going to go run the adamantine ore optional now. So to complete the quest, you only need to run the first 3 paths to your left in sequential order. First one to your first path to your left, then second path to your left, then third path to your left will open up once you complete those other 2 paths. And because this is, well, it's a level 12 quest, so if you wanted to run this on optional for this adamantine ore option, or adamantine ore, you could probably come in at level 8 or 9 and run it on casual, and and be able to do it just fine. So how many traps were disabled? So that was 15 traps. It's a lot of traps. Alright, so we're going to go... missed a treasure bag. So if I look on the map, we're going to want to go this direction. Let's see, is that it? No, that's not it. That's the way we came in. I'm going the wrong way. And because it only takes a few minutes to get the key, you don't have to run that first path. You can just go for the key, and you don't have to fight even the second boss. It's quicker to just run this on casual, than to do the optional on higher difficulties. If all you want is the adamantine ore, there's no, you definitely don't want to run this optional on Reaper.
The cart track stretches down the tunnel to your right. This is the area.
Alright, and so the hard thing is actually finding the ore. So you want to, once you're here, you're going to be fighting a lot of enemies. And you just kind of keep hitting Q until you find it. And you want to kind of take each path here. There's 15 ore per run, and I think I've had some runs where I've gotten 16. And so it's really hard to visually spot it sometimes, so using Q is pretty key. And so you just kind of go, I usually just go clockwise each passageway here.
Probably similar areas throughout the mine.
And then there's an adamantine ore right there. You can see if I hit Q, it's a little hard to spot. You can see it, but the Q makes it a lot easier. So that's one. And it's not going to show us here. So what you could do is just to kind of see how many you're getting is drag the adamantine ore here, and then as it goes up, it should. I can't remember if it stacks or not. Oh, here's one. But we got some miners coming. Alright, so there's one. There's another one. And so you can see it shows you the number on here, and I have got 16 in a run, but normally I get exactly 15. And I'm not sure if when I get 16, if it's because I got lucky and a dwarf or a Durger dropped it, or if it's because they can also be in like here, this area. They're not always in those caves. So once you're here, just keep hitting Q. You'll find them along the way sometimes. All right, I guess I have to do this. And there's a small chance that the Durger can drop them. I think they normally drop coal or gems, but I think there's a very small chance they could drop adamantine ore as well. So if you notice it while you're questing, definitely pick them up. There's one. So there's one right on top of here. There's another side room. You want to get these side rooms, that's where most of them are. And once you have 15, you could probably just recall out. You don't have to finish the path. And be sure to check for more than one, like there's two in this cave. So currently at 9, 6 more to find. And again, very, very rarely I'll find, you don't need to pick up those lumps of coal. Very rarely I'll find 16. But again, I'm not sure if that's because I got a lucky drop and didn't notice it type thing. All right, let me get the... There's one there. That's 10. So currently at 13, so that's about right. 2 more. There's 1 more. And there's the 15th right there.
You are greeted by a wave of intense heat as you enter the
And
Durgar
we could
Forge.
just back out at this point. It's possible we find 1 more in there, but very unlikely. And there's just, a pretty big fight in there. So I'm going to recall out. We're already completed. And I'm going to pause it while I go to the quest giver. Nothing too interesting here. I just grabbed something to sell to a vendor. And I'm going to pause it while I get back to the quest. And going back in on hard.
This small pool of lava seems to cause the walls in here to sweat profusely. Elementals meander between the pillars of earth and the pools of lava in this cavern. The heat here is almost unbearable. The musty odor of burning incense fills this passage. As you continue downward, the muffled sounds of chanting can be heard somewhere before you. The chanting appears to come from the other side of the large iron-bound door at the base of this slope. The rooms to either side. room beyond appears to be a temple hewn from the earth itself, with a large, rune-covered altar at its center. Fall, the Durgar High Priest begins an incantation of summoning.
So that's the first of 2 runes we have to take care of. Hey, all right, I'm excited about that. I got a Constitution Death Block. Not ideal, but it's just nice to get a Death Block item finally. The Constitution's completely redundant, but it's good to have an at level Death Block item because I'm a little worried about my gear getting to a point where my armor's going to wear out too quickly, like I had at lower levels. So it's nice to have a higher level item. So this durability is hardness 20, durability 142, and what I'm currently wearing is hardness 17, durability 113, and this was a little bit better, not much, but a little bit better. You can save a small amount of fighting by kind of jumping over that lava area.
The room here appears to serve as a point of access. Dwarven guards man both sides of this gateway.
And I'm not going to worry about the key here. I'm just going to go right to the end since we're not going to do an adamantine ore run. The adamantine ore is used to improve the durability and hardness of your items, but it also requires that also requires having some souls of earth, which you get from using Trap the Soul on earth elementals. And we don't really have access to Trap the Soul the spell, but we can get a Trap the Soul guard. So I'm kind of, when I get to that quest, which is a few levels from now, I'm going to try to use a Trap the Soul guard and see if I can get soul gems from there and at like what pace. So I've heard that it's like, people say it doesn't work at all or it barely works, so it may be too slow, but I'm just going to run a test and see, how long does it take me to get 10 soul gems, or can I even get 10 soul gems from that armor.
What appear to be the officers' quarters flank the locked steel door at the end of this hall. awaits you in this room. The cages behind him hold what appear to be large metallic dogs.
And this is the final way. It's that sort of trapped, all the things that
Statues of crowned dwarves line
these
the
crowned
wall
dwarf
within this
statues
room.
are mostly trapped. I think there's one that wasn't. So it's like an upward spiral trapped passage.
chambers lie on the other side of them. A sword hangs suspended beneath a magical dome at the center of this
So I'll try
room.
the social skills
But
option
the
again.
hard
Let me use
gaze of
my
the man standing behind it
Heroes
grabs
and
your
Potion
attention.
and skill boost. And it seems like it worked. Probably not a really super high DC because I only have 2 levels worth of bluff. 5 ranks total. And I'm going to pause it while I go to the quest giver. Alright, nothing too exciting here. Hardy 7 ring, that's somewhat interesting. I mean, we're seeing better stats now on the items than we're on some of the older items. But if it had a better suffix, I'd probably keep it as a possible gear swap replacement. I'm just going to grab something to sell and repeat it since we're going to want to run this again on Reaper. And that's a Relic of a Sovereign Past on normal and hard.